Good late morning, America. I'm your host, Noah Colleen. We are so glad that you're joining us today on this amazing May 14th. Today we'll be talking about something very special. It's the climate crisis. Some may know this as climate change. Personally, I've seen countless news stations broadcasting and spreading awareness of this crisis, but little act on it. This is where some people ask themselves, how do I start? How do I begin helping the environment? Well, the first step is to know what exactly the climate crisis is. Here's Charles to briefly discuss this. Thank you, Noah, and good morning, viewers. Now, global warming is playing a huge factor in climate change. This stems from the greenhouse effect. Basically, sunlight is reaching the Earth, warming us up, and then reflecting some energy back into space. The remaining energy stays in the Earth's system and is used to heat places all around the world. However, most of the heat that stays in the Earth's system is being absorbed by greenhouse gases. It is reflected all around the world. Then, as you can see, it warms up the Earth. However, burning fossil fuels and other human activity is playing a huge role in warming up the Earth by trapping more heat. Over time, this results in an increase in temperature and changes in our regular climate pattern. There you have it. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, temperatures have been increasing, with burning fossil fuels being a huge part of it. Now, put on your running shoes because it is a race against climate change. And that brings us to our first solution. Have you ever walked into Chick-fil-A and saw that sign that says eat less chicken? Well, now it's time to eat less chicken and meat in general because growing livestock generates 14.5% of the global greenhouse emissions, which is more than transportation emissions combined. You may find this strange, but the emissions mainly stem from the burps of cows, pigs, and other livestock. What happens is when the cow burps, or better known as a belch, they release a gas called methane, which is 30 times more effective at trapping heat in our atmosphere than carbon dioxide. Scientists are tirelessly looking for solutions like better food for our livestock where it prevents them from burping as much, different types of grass to see if that has an impact on methane release, or different breeds of livestock that give off less methane. However, by 2050, the meat and dairy intake will be double that it is now, so it's time to go through extreme measures. And this is not an easy task, but go vegetarian. In fact, Americans who eat meat produce 1.5 tons more greenhouse gas emissions than others who adopt a vegetarian diet. However, most of these problems can be solved with world leaders that cared more about the deadly effects that climate change has to offer. So what will your next meal be? I'm certainly thinking of this salad for myself. Stay with us after this quick commercial break as there will be an exclusive interview with an expert.
LATE Late Morning Channel. Everywhere we go, we expect to see trees. But what if you didn't see them anymore? What if the last tree has already been cut down? Carbon dioxide would fill our atmosphere without any oxygen for life to live. Scary, right? Sadly, that future is closer than it appears. Deforestation is a main cause of climate change, but reforestation is possible. We need companies to enforce zero deforestation policies and governments to enforce policies that lead to less deforestation. But in the meantime, invest $1 to plant one tree on the onetreeplanted.org website. Remember, the future of breathing is in your hands.
Welcome back. We're so glad that you stayed with us on this late morning. Here's Nick Salruck, an optical engineer that was part of a team full of NASA scientists that constructed ISAT-2, a satellite that was launched into space not too long ago that examines how ice caps have been melting throughout the years. Here's an exclusive interview. So I'm just going to start us off with our first question that we typically get a lot, and that is, how can we, as a whole civilization, advance our understanding of climate change?
The most important thing is education. Educate yourself, understand what the difference is between science and non-science and fiction, and that way you can make informed decisions in your life on how you try to be less wasteful and conserve energy and natural resources. It also, by being an educated person, allows you to assess policies that your lawmakers and leaders are making and make decisions for yourself on whether those are the right policies or not.
All about the world leaders, and it goes hand in hand with politics. And now another question that we get a lot is how will climate change affect humans in the long run?
The way I look at it is we have one Earth and it's one single planet with finite resources that eventually will run out. So we should do our best to conserve those resources and make planet Earth last as long as it possibly can. I don't know specifically how climate change will affect localities, and I honestly don't think anybody does. but it makes sense to me to conserve what we have.
That's the amazing thing about science, is that it's full of the unknown. We don't truly know the effects of what we're doing right now and what they will have on the future. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you. Me and the rest of TMC are so thankful for this chance, and we'll catch you next time because we can tell that you have a very busy day. Until next time.
Now we have the main solution to climate change that most countries are trying to act on, and that is finding the next energy resource for our countries to use other than burning fossil fuels. There's an interesting fact that more solar energy falls on our world in 1 hour than all the energy that humans use in 1 year. So what if we're able to capture all that energy? Yet, almost 80% of our energy is still being supplied by burning fossil fuels. Our main renewable energy resources are geothermal, hydroelectric, solar power, and wind resources. Here's Charles to show you how switching to 100% renewable energy is possible. Saying goodbye to fossil fuels is huge, and it means that we need more of the right energy resources. There's a plan by the Solution Project that shows how we can transition to 100% renewable energy in the 139 biggest carbon dioxide polluters countries by 2050. However, we'll be just looking at the United States for now. We must be still looking at the onshore and offshore wind that will be supplying electricity through wind energy. Placing wind turbines near farmlands in this main middle strip of the country, including Oklahoma and Kansas, will contribute to 23.52% of energy provided, while offshore winds, meaning in the oceans, will contribute to 13.62% of the energy needed. Solar plants will be contributing 31.06% of energy, while rooftop solar energy, including residential areas, will be contributing 26.47% of renewable energy used. More solar plants can be placed in grassy areas of the world, while rooftop solar panels should be placed in larger cities like New York and Los Angeles, as there is a larger population, but should still be seen in every residential area. Hydroelectric energy will contribute to 4%. Geothermal does not play a huge factor with 0.67%, but is playing a huge part near the North Atlantic tectonic plate. And more energy from water, like wave energy and tidal turbines in the ocean, contributing to 0.64% of energy. However, for this project to be complete, this is going to be costing $124.7 trillion for the 139 countries. We need world leaders to be taking the climate change more seriously, as the financial cost isn't nearly as important as the horrific events that climate change has to offer. And that's all we have for you. Have a great rest of your day. Come back tomorrow as we have an expert that explains how our country can flourish again after the coronavirus outbreak. Until next time.
Now, the Oscar for the Best News Reporter goes to Noah Killeen.
Wow, I am so thankful to be getting this Oscar. I'd like to take the time to thank the people who made the daily production possible. First, I'd like to begin thanking my interviewee, Nick Zaruk, for agreeing to take time out of his busy schedule to educate the viewers about climate change. After all, we couldn't have gone to the newsroom because of coronavirus, so we had to turn my room into a movie set, and I couldn't have done that without the help of my parents. This production couldn't have been made without the help of Mr. Johnson, my instructor, for giving me the assignment. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to educate people and myself about climate change. Okay, wow, I don't want to bore you guys anymore, so I'll get off the stage. But I'm super happy to be getting this award. Thank you. Oh yeah, I know, Charles will be fired in the next month. I was talking to the producer. Oh, well, live, good late morning, America. I'm your host, Nancy, come fix my hair. Come on, I see you're taking the time to help understand our blah, 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 blah.
Go for dinner.
First question that we typically... Oh my God, my mom. Okay, there's power outage.